All right. So StreamYard's getting cheaper and cheaper. You know, I had a subscription for years and I never used it. And now, oh, you can see me in the back. Look at that. That's gonna mess with me the whole time. I'm gonna have to like sit over here. And now they keep taking away the free stuff that was included. That's actually really bothering me. The back there. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, nope, that's not it. Where the fuck is the camera at? Got too much shit on the table. So I was trying to do, I usually do like for lives this a little intro, but didn't work. And I think I'm only talking to like one person right now. That's the problem with doing these streams so early. But I'm a pretty early riser and I want to get it done before not before the day. I've already been doing shit for like 4 or 5 hours. But I want to get her done so I can leave the house and go get other shit done. Oh, am I like it's weird. Is that just the lighting? No, it's not. Oh, I'm like rashing out here. WTF. But good morning. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Hopefully I don't go into anaphylactic shock because apparently I'm breaking out right here. I just scratched it. Could be shave, burn, whatever. So here is the agenda for today. We're going to bullshit for a few minutes, get some more people to come on, which is kind of discounting to the people that jump on right away. So it's like, I hate late people. I absolutely hate late people. I am never, ever, ever, ever late in my life. Unless I'm on a plane, which happened this week. So I want to tell you about this week. I want to tell you about next week. I want to give you a summary on a few things I've seen recently, including Superman, Squid Games. God, that's like, I'm a little worried here, actually. All right, just don't touch it. Let's see what happens. That just happened, like in the last 5 minutes. So we'll see if it goes away. But it's like burning and itching like hell. Up here. So then I want to play the game of who is the best action movie superhero. It's something I kind of stole, but you guys are going to vote on the results. So it's all up to you. So we definitely need people for that because if just one person's voting, then it'll be pretty simple. But yeah, so let me kick it off. This week was crazy. I had a 50-minute flight and I was on that fucking plane for 7 hours. You will not believe this story. So what's funny is it was a 50-minute flight and they said at the airport, we got plenty of gas. And I said to the guy next to me, I was like, I fucking hope so. It's only a 50-minute flight. Well, I had a few beers and in those 50 minutes or a few alcoholic drinks and I actually dozed off a little bit. And I woke up and I look at my phone. It was way past 50 minutes and we hadn't landed. And I look around, we're declining. We're moving down. And I look out the window. It's like, this is not where we were going. So we landed in this podunk fucking airport with 4 gates. And we sat on the tarmac for a while. We couldn't go home because of weather. That's why we couldn't go home. And they're like, we don't know how long we're going to be here. And then we started reaching the 3-hour mark where they have to let you off the plane. So they did that. And then some little girl came running on the plane from the outside because they were just going to let us like walk down the stairs to the tarmac. She's like, you can't let anyone off because it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. She's like, because TSA is gone for the day, even though you wouldn't have to go through TSA, we can't have people reboard. And I'm right up there, you know, I'm in the second row. So I'm listening to them go back and forth. And God, this is really bothering me. And it just came like 5 minutes before the show here. And they're like, well, we have to let them off. It's the law. So they come over the intercom and they're like, all right, so here's the deal. We can let you off because we have to, but you can't get back on. So you will be stuck in this little podunk airport town. So anyway, long story short, I stayed in the seat. You know, thankfully I was in first class, so it's a little more comfortable, and they were giving drinks and everything. And ended up getting home. I was on that plane for 7.5 hours. which was just crazy. It was supposed to be a 50-minute flight. I was on that plane for 7.5 hours, which was probably a preview because this next Friday I do have an 8-hour flight, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, that's what this week was. It was just crazy, nuts, and what the fuck is going on? This just like, is it getting worse? I think it's getting worse. It's fine down there. We'll see. Might have to get some Benadryl. I didn't put anything on my neck. I shaved last night. It was fine this morning. I might have scratched it, but I'm just confused. Old people problems. As you get older, shit like that just starts happening. So let's give a shout out to the chat here. We got Knight. Good morning. Javier. Good morning. XXX member, our member. Jonathan. Hello from Sweden. Joe Chan's here. What's up, Joe? DXC Zook. That's what she said. Juan Ortega. Good morning. Aches on a plane. It was insane. So I have a more insane story for you guys, though. If you remember, for Faj's Day, Mrs. X said, hey, you can get a new pellet smoker. So I'm like, awesome. Let's buy a $2,000 pellet smoker. And it was so easy to buy it online. Home Depot. Great. Bought it. And you could have them assemble it. I said, fuck no, because they're going to bring an assembled thing. It could be broken, could be missing pieces. So I clicked unassembled. And they were going to bring it the next morning. Well, the next morning, we found an assembled one, dirty, used, missing pieces, sitting at the foot of our driveway. And then I got a confirmation email that had been delivered. So I looked at the delivery confirmation. The guy signed my name, and he took a picture of his steering wheel. So I'm like, fuck this. So we pulled it in. It was dirty, damaged, missing pieces, including the power cord, which makes it function, assembled. And so I bought it online. So they had an online chat, and I was like, hey, here's the problem. She's like, I can't help you. Go to the store you bought it from. And I'm like, I bought it online. I didn't buy it from a store. She's like, no, you got it from a store. No, I didn't. Here's all my, receipts and data and shit. She's like, but it's shipped from a store. I go, great. She's like, contact that store. And I go, what? I was like, what store shipped it? Because I had no idea. I mean, they don't tell you. They don't tell you what store it comes from. So she tells me what store. So I'm messaging, and so I call them. After over 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes, I called once. It rang and rang for 8 minutes, and someone picked up and hung up. Called again, got put on hold, and then eventually they hung up on me. Finally get a hold of somebody. I'm like, hey, what's your name? I was like, hey, this is what's going on. I bought a grill online. It was supposed to come a pellet smoker for $2,000. It was supposed to be unassembled. It was supposed to be brand new in a box. And this is what they sent me. He's like, okay, when did you buy it? And I was like, I bought it last night online. He's like, well, if you bought it online, you need to talk to them. And I go, I'm literally holding on to a chat right now where she says she can't help me. I have to go through you. He's like, that's incorrect. I can't help you. I was like, okay, so she says she can't help me, and you say you can't help me. He's like, is there anything else? I was like, so, okay. So then I told her that, and she's like, he's wrong. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I have a grill that I paid for that won't even work. I was like, I'll return it. I don't care. And she told me that she can't help me. And I'm just like, well, who do I need to talk to? She's like, you need to talk to one of the store managers. I was like, they just hung up on me. So she goes, I will call them right now. And she's like, can you hold on? I'm like, great. Thank you. Thank you for finally trying to help me. Then she gets back to me. Yeah, I can't get a hold of anybody. I was like, no shit, Sherlock. So she's like, all right, I will guarantee that they will call you in the next 24 hours. And I go, I'm sorry. I have zero faith they will call me. Anyway, that was 3 weeks ago. Nobody called me. Called back again. Same story, same runaround. So thankfully, I bought it through PayPal. I used PayPal because I had funds in my PayPal account. So I paid for it with that. And so I filed a claim with PayPal. The plot thickens. So PayPal went through the normal procedures. I filed a few claims in my life, not many. And they're like, we want video evidence. We are, photo evidence, blah, blah, blah. What happened, blah, blah, blah. So Home Depot had 10 days to reply. They replied at day 9, hour 22. I mean, like at the end. And they said, We delivered. Here's his order. We delivered that. And I wrote back, no, they didn't, blah, 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 blah. PayPal has now told me I need to file a police report or hire a third party that's non-biased between me and Home Depot to prove that they didn't deliver what I ordered. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, so to clarify, I have to file a police report. So I called the local police, and they said, yeah, we don't do that. So I am literally fucked. So do not ever buy from Home Depot. I know they're a powerhouse and a giant, and I probably, especially from a business perspective, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with Home Depot. But literally, I have a grill I'm going to have to find the pieces for. It's damaged. It's used. I paid for a brand new one. Yeah, just unbelievable. Man, my neck is really fucked up. So that's the unbelievable story. So a few more people jumped into the chat. Nelson's here. Good morning, Nelson. Good to see you. One Nut. Been a while. Chris is here. BSC. He's copying what I'm doing before I'm doing it. Thank you. I'm going to talk about Squid Games. I'm not going to give any spoilers. It did feel like trains, planes, and automobiles, but since I was in first class, I just kept getting drunk. Yeah, Jerry, right? I'm never going to use PayPal again. Yeah, I 100%. That's the problem. It's like I use my funds from PayPal, so I'm literally fucked. Yeah, I mean, I was mad for a minute, and now that I'm getting passionate, I'm getting, it is what it is. I mean, I can piecemeal the shit together for it. It'll cost me another couple $100, which it shouldn't have to. And that sucks, but it hopefully it works. Mike of all trades, good morning. Nightmare customer service. Yeah. So that was this week. Kind of crazy. Work. I know I don't talk about work, but it's just fucking nuts. That's all I can say. Work's been fucking nuts for a year, and it's fucking nuts. But it's work. It's supposed to be hard. I make a lot of money, obviously. So I always, not always, but those times I'm like ready to go postal. It's like that's why they pay you a lot of money. It's like good point. Good point. So this next week is going to be even worse. Half of my team and their team and my team that's like my side team, the team that reports to me, my team below me is they're all gone next week. So it's going to be a week of hell, and I'm ready for it because on Friday we get on a plane to Hawaii. So I'm super stoked about that. Family's going to Hawaii. Children have never been there. Mrs. X and I, we're going to Kauai. We've never been to that island. We're going to Oahu. We've been there, but we haven't spent a lot of time there. So huge agenda. Day one, we are hiking up Diamond Head and then going to North Shore. Not as exciting, but still kind of cool. Day two is Pearl Harbor. We're staying on Waikiki Beach. Day three is shark cage diving. And I got all my old equipment out. So all my old waterproof GoPros, and I have a whole suitcase of filming stuff. They said 15 feet big sharks. I'm stoked. I watched all 3 Jaws movies over the last 2 months just in anticipation of being eaten. The next day, what are we doing? That's Monday. Tuesday, I think we're flying to Kauai. We're doing like this 5-mile long tubing and drinking. We're rappelling down 2 giant waterfalls. We hired a private plane. We're going on some amazing hikes. Just super stoked. It's going to be a huge vacation doing it because number one's actually a senior now. So we don't know how much longer he's going to stick around. Who knows? But yeah, super stoked. And that's just, if you watch my rest of 2025 video, that's like trip number 1 of like number 8. On top of football season starting and so many other exciting stuff, and more stuff has landed since then. So I'm super stoked. I've worked hard the last 7 months. I've taken 0 time off, but starting Friday, this next Friday, I'm so excited, and I'm going to share a lot of that stuff with you. But that's one of the reasons I had to do the vlog now. This is like my only weekend free for like 4 weeks, if not longer. And it's just been crazy busy, but a good crazy busy. Family's healthy. Everyone's immediate family's healthy, and we're gonna go from there. So wanted to give an update. Let me recognize some more of the chat here. Yeah, but the problem, Jerry, is only like 10 people will watch it. No one's watching my YouTube anymore, except you guys, because you guys are awesome. In the UK, we can take people to small claims court. Can you sue them? I can, but that's what I'm going to have to do next. I mean, it's just such a pain. Good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Good morning, Kevin. Mai Tais. Yeah, I picked out some Hawaiian shirts earlier this morning. Later, Juan. Yes. Yeah. So I have a Cybertruck camping video. Juan, Javier, he's the little symbol next to his name. He gets early access. So he's going to that comes out Tuesday, actually, when camping on the Cybertruck. Hopefully the volume was okay. I didn't have time to review it because I had to jump on this. Been there for a friend's wedding. What island did you go to? New York to Hawaii. I believe that. Yeah, it's only 7.5 hours. It's direct flight from here, which is nice. And because hashtag real world problems, because I booked through a travel agent, we didn't get first class, and I can't even upgrade, and I've been trying. So it's like womp womp. So one of the first times this year I know it's hashtag real world problems. One of the first time I can't fly first class, and it's a 7.5 hour flight. That sucks. But apparently my wife told my kids today, and this week while I was gone, and they flipped out. So I'm going to give Squid Games happen. Season 3, the finale of Squid Games Korea. No spoilers. Absolutely no spoilers. So I love the first season of Squid Games. I hated the way it ended. I thought that was stupid. I thought they were grasping. Season 2 was like the first. Season 2 and 3 should have been one season because it was one round of games. They just stopped halfway through. I hated season 2 for so many reasons. One, they needed to reset the storyline, so it was really slow. 2, they needed to reset the characters, get you to like them, so it was really slow. 3, it was just weird, and it ended at such a weird place halfway through what should have been the actual season. Season 3, and by the way, I have a blog coming out, but I'm going to no spoilers for this. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was very predictable, though. But I love that they embrace some of the old games. They embrace some new games. They had a lot more character development. And I love, it's not a secret, this isn't a spoiler, but they're going to do an American version of Squid Games. At the end of the movie, they set that up. And I'm not going to say how, but it was decently clever. But it's in my opinion, I don't want to say the best season of them. This is so bothered. Oh, it looks like it's getting better. I don't want to say it's the best season because the first season was so shocking. First season, this is funny. A friend, she told me, she's like, you got to watch Squid Game. So I watched the first 15 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is stupid as shit. And I stopped watching. And then she asked me like a month or two later, she's like, did you watch it? I was like, it's stupid. She's like, you have to keep watching. And I had no idea what it was about. So I was like, all right, I'll give it one more chance. And then when I saw the red light, green light game and, what started happening. I don't want to give any spoilers in case you haven't even seen season 1. You're like, holy fuck, this is crazy. So big fan of Squid Games. Thought it was great. Superman. I saw Superman last night. And I'm going to try and do no spoilers here. Solid. Very, very solid. Different. Very different, but very solid. I also have a blog. I haven't written yet, but let me try and think of some pros and cons. So first of all, this isn't a spoiler, but if you want to be totally surprised, come back in 3 minutes. Superman is very humane. Emotionally, even physically. I mean, he's not, he's still Superman. You see him get beat down a lot. I don't think that's a surprise if you watch the trailers. But it's the weakest Superman we've ever seen, which kind of doesn't sit well because Superman's the man. But after a while, I kind of like that. Luthor was so diabolical. He was a diabolical genius. I really like that. I really like Lex Luthor. I didn't like some of the storyline that it's very comic-y, the story. I love comics, but it was like super far stretching. The soundtrack was my favorite part. They killed the soundtrack. They took John Williams. They reinvigorated it. And I think the timing was perfect during the intense scenes, the sad scenes. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I know there's a lot of, was that my hair up there? I know there's a lot of controversy. And I'm reading One Nut Warrior. So Javier is going to watch season 3 of Squid Games today. One Nut Warrior didn't like it much. and it's because a lot of people don't like that. I mean, Superman's like almost invincible other than kryptonite, but Crypto is a great part of it too. I didn't like Crypto in the comics. I loved him in the movie. Uh, not I loved every part of him. His personality, where his again, I'm trying to stay spoiler free. Uh, how he contributed to the movie, that was pretty cool. But I was a big fan of it. I liked it. Uh, you know, I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I really do. I thought Man of Steel was good. I didn't think it was amazing. I think this was better than Man of Steel. Just my opinion. Some people might disagree. It was weird seeing the guy from the Rookie as Green Lantern, though. That was really weird. But Javier, can't wait to watch it. Heard they did well with Guy Gardner. Yeah, I think it's worth watching if you're have an open mind. Like I said, it's very different but solid. That's the best way I could actually say it. All right, so I'm gonna try this. One not like the Man of Steel better. I'm gonna try this voting here. So I need the few people that are watching to participate. So let me share my screen. Let's see. All right. Okay. So we're going to see who is the best live action superhero with no powers based off people watching. So you guys are going to vote. You guys are going to be the judge and jury. Now, first thing I want you guys to vote on is, do we want to do who is the more exciting character or who would beat who in a fight? So we got, because it's kind of unclear which one we should do that. So do you guys want to do who was the cooler character or who would beat who in a fight? So throw that down in the comments below and then we'll start there. So again, you don't have to say who yet. We're voting on what we're going to vote on, if that makes sense. Are we going to vote on who would beat who in a fight or who was just the better live action character? All right, so we got one vote for character. No one else votes, and then this is going to be really, really 9 a.m. Saturday or 8 a.m. Saturday is probably a mistake. But at night, I just got so much stuff going on. All right, so we got 2 votes for character, none for. So we'll give it another 30 seconds or so here. Yeah, it was interesting to see Beast as Lex Luthor. So funny, that we talk about those. This will kill some time. How we talk about like people that have done both DC and Marvel, and there's a huge list. Like Ryan Reynolds, and it gets really granular too, because some offshoot characters. All right, so we got 3 votes for cooler. So I'm going to try and use Photoshop, which I use all the time. But I'm doing it with an extended screen. So, all right. So who is a cooler character? We're going to go through them all, and then I'm going to try and use Photoshop to move them on to the next round. Ethan Hunt or Harry Stamper from Armageddon? I'm going to set a timer here of 1 minute. Get your votes in. Harry Stamper, and if there's a tie, I get to break the tie. That's the rule. So 1 minute, Harry Stamper or Ethan Hunt is a cooler character. Harry Stamper only had 1 movie. Ethan Hunt had like 52. I liked Harry Stamper, though. One of my favorite lines was, he's like, "What's your backup plan?" And Billy Bob Thornton's like, "Backup plan?" He's like, "Yeah, your backup plan." He's like, "We don't have a backup plan." He's like, "You're fucking NASA. That's what you do. You think shit up. I'm sure you got a room full of people just thinking shit up right now and a room full of people backing them up." So, yeah, I like the character better. All right, so right now Ethan Hunt's winning. Ethan Hunt is kind of badass. Yeah, I think Ethan Hunt's going to take the cake here. See who else is Shiny's joined. The 3 awesomest franchises guy has joined. All right, so let's do some Photoshop here. All right, so we're gonna grab my bar at the top is missing. It's usually right there. All right. So Ethan Hunt is the winner. We're going to move him on. Look at how slick that was. All right. So we're going to come back to that side. We're going to move over to the other. And we're going to go John Wick or John Creasy. I think this will be a clean sweep, but I'm not for sure. 1 minute. Shiny didn't know either of the characters. You don't know Mission Impossible? John Wick. That's who I think. Yeah, clean sweep. All right. That was easy. All right. So let's grab him. Definitely a cooler character. You know what's funny is I didn't watch John Wick until, oh no, it's going to be a bitch like that. Fucking, I didn't watch John Wick until recently. Okay, we're going to have problems here. All right, I need to find an X. Hang on. XPG. All right, we're just going to X people out instead. This will make it easier. All right, hang on. Ethan Hunt, we need to get rid of him. And we'll get the X here and we'll copy it. There we go. All right. All right, sweet. We are back in business. All right. Yeah, John Wick was a clean sweep, not a I didn't watch same shiny. I didn't watch John Wick until recently, and I was a little underwhelmed. It was great, but the hype was so big, it was hard to beat. Okay, Sly versus Arnie, Rambo versus T2, 1 minute, go. All right. Ooh, 1 for T, 1 for Rambo. T2. It's interesting if right now we're voting for T2, but it'd be interesting if we voted T1. So it looks like we still got 30 seconds left, but Terminator's probably going to take this. Oh, we got another Rambo. All right, so we got 4 for Terminator, 2 for Rambo. 3 for Rambo. Uh-oh. Rambo fans, you need another one in 7 seconds to tie it up. And T2 barely takes it. All right, next one. We got the Equalizer, Robert McCall. Shiny. Oh, you were too late, shiny. Besides, I would have picked Terminator, and I'm the tiebreaker. So we did tie with Rambo. All right. Equalizer or Dutch? All right, we already got votes. Dutch. 1 for Dutch. You son of a bit. All right. All right. Who's a cooler one, Dutch or Robert McCall? 2 for Dutch. See, I'll say who mine was after the vote. I don't want to influence anything. All right, so we got 3 for Dutch, 2 for McCall, 3 for Dutch, 2 for McCall. We got 30 seconds left. All right, Dutch is pulling away. Ten seconds. It probably was One Nut Warrior, his vote, but that made it a tie, and I was a tiebreaker. All right, so Dutch is the winner. I would have picked Robert McCall. Okay, so we will come back to those. Let's go to James Bond or Rick O'Connell, and I think we have to do, it looks like Daniel Craig. So we got to pick Daniel Craig, although he's not my favorite James Bond. Sean Connery is. So James Bond or Rick O'Connell, go. There's probably a delay, honestly. One Nut and Shiny Shiny. That's what I'm guessing. There's a delay. I think DXC Zook, I think we're going for the character. So yeah, Bond's gonna be a clean sweep. Rico, I enjoyed the Mummy movies, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he is not that's not like a live action star that I would follow. All right. Yeah, we're gonna just cut this one. There's no way he's gonna win. All right. So Rick O'Connell is gone. All right, Jones or Inspector Lee. This is gonna be a tough one. Actually, not so much. This could be a clean sweep. Detective Inspector Lee or Indiana Jones Jr. All right, not going to be a clean sweep. All right, we got 4 for Jones, 1 for Lee. 30 seconds left. Any other Rush Hour fans? Because you're not going for Jackie Chan. You're going for Detective Inspector Lee. All right, we're going to call it for Jones. I don't think Lee's going to get 6 votes in the last second. All right, so we're going to go to some tough ones here. John McClane or the bride from Kill Bill? Although I think the next one's going to be the toughest. We got one for McClane. One for the bride. All right. Both are badass. All right. McClane's starting to pull ahead. I think McClane's like, I love Quentin Tarantino. I think he's one of the best filmmakers ever. And but like John, when you think of like live action, McClane really it's getting close here. Hang on. I need to start counting here. All right, McClane, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bride, we got 3. And I never started a timer, so we'll give it 30 more seconds. All right, 5-3 right now. Yeah, to me, McClane's like classic action. Plus, it's the best Christmas movie out there. Yeah, I think there's no wrong answer, Shiny Shiny, saying it depends on how well we define cool. They're both cool. All right, looks like McClane's going to take it. All right. This is going to be a tough one, in my opinion. Taken. So Brian Mills, I Will Find You, I Will Kill You, or Jason Bourne. I'm watching. I would love to see these two fight in real life. That would be awesome. Although I think Jason Bourne would take him if they actually fought. Yeah, this to me, this is the toughest one. Yeah, I agree when Warrior says they should have separated these two because they like these should be in the final. All right, we got I'm not even counting yet because it's all over the place. We got 20 seconds left. I'm gonna actually post a line here so we don't have any of those problems with the timing. 10 seconds. I think Bourne's gonna take it. Yeah. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Bourne, and only 2 for Mills. Okay. See, this is why we should have done the chat later in the day because more people. I think I would have picked Mills as a better hero or action star. Although, like I said, I definitely think that that Bourne could beat him in a fight. All right. Ethan Hunt versus Terminator. This is round 2. Let's see who wins. Ethan Hunt versus Terminator. Let's go. Ethan Hunt versus Terminator. All right, we got a T2. Terminator. Oh, this is going to be a clean sweep. Maybe. Nope, wasn't a clean sweep. Crosby went with Hunt. Terminator's in the big. Yep, Terminator. Yeah, I would hope you would pick that Predminator. What are you going to do, Predminator, if Arnold goes against himself as Dutch next? All right, a couple votes for Hunt, but T2 is going to be the big winner here, I think. All right. Now we have John Wick versus Dutch. Like I said, 1 minute. I have my preference, but we'll see what you guys say. John Wick versus Dutch. Okay. Predminator would take Dutch over T2. Interesting. Oh, this one's going to be close. This is kind of all over the place. Might have to draw a line on this one and count it. Because I think it's 3-3. Oh, 4-3 now. Maybe I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to count this, man. This is close. All right, I'll put a ending line. We got 25 seconds left ish. $15 seconds. Right now, we got 1, 2, 3 for Dutch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5 for Wick. All right. Maybe it's not that close. All right. Wick takes it down. So, all right. So in the final 4, we have John Wick and Terminator on the top, and let's see who's going to be on the bottom. All right, we have James Bond versus John McClane. That's a tough one. James Bond versus John McClane. Go. That's because Dutch has a personality. I know T2 kind of did a little bit, but all right. Some early votes for James Bond. You know, it's actually a good thing. I know this sounds like self-defeating that a ton of people aren't watching this, because if there were like 40 votes, I wouldn't be able to count, because a lot of these are a lot closer than I thought. Like right now, we're tied 2-2. Bond versus McClane. We got 30 seconds left. All right, Bond's winning. It's the Daniel Craig Bond, who I liked. I think Henry Cavill would be a good Bond. I know there's rumors of that. Back tied. Nelson tied it back up. We have 5 seconds. Somebody needs to throw something in. Otherwise, I got to decide, and I don't know who I'm going to pick. Oh, that's right. You can do polls in the chats. All right. Time is up for Bond and so I actually have to break this tie. This is hard because I think Bond is a more sophisticated action hero. You know, he does more action than John McClane, where John McClane's like messy. But McClane is, you know, I was going to say McClane's so nostalgic, but so is James Bond. So I think I got to give it to James Bond as a tiebreaker. All right. Next, we have Jason Bourne versus. Is it? Well, was it 4 versus 3? Hang on. If so, I got to take that back. McClane. I have 3 McClanes, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, there is a Bond up there. Okay, Bond wins anyway. All right, so I didn't need to break the tie. All right, Indiana Jones versus Jason Bourne. Go 1 minute. Sorry, I'm like managing the chat. I'm managing the Photoshop. I'm managing the StreamYard. I'm gonna have a guest next month. Wow, Jones coming out of the gate strong. Wow, I thought people would pick Bourne on this. They still might. I think it's 4-2 right now. You got 23 seconds. Is that all the votes? Nope. Oh, there. Yeah. 3-4. 10 seconds if there's another Jones. I'm going to put in my line just in case. All right. Jones won. I didn't see that coming. Okay. So in the final four, we have Indiana Jones, James Bond, the T-800 from Terminator 2, and John Wick. So let's do first we will do Indiana Jones versus John. Actually, let's do James Bond and Terminator. James Bond and Terminator. We're gonna give it 1 minute here. James Bond versus Terminator. And then again, it's not who would win in a fight, it's who's a cooler action movie hero. Although, you know, the title of this says no super tap. I didn't make this list. It says no superpowers. T2 kind of has superpowers. All right, we got 4-5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-2 right now in favor of Arnold. All right, I might have to count this one. We got 15 seconds left. That's what she said. Yeah, it won't even let me do the that's what she said jokes anymore. Or clips. All right, so for Bond, we have 1, 2, 3. Time is up. And then T2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Terminator 1. Yeah, that's right. We're just helping the AI, Nelson. That's a good point. Okay, so in the other final four, we got Jones versus John Wick. 1 minute, go. I did not expect this to be down to these people. Very interesting. All right, looks like with 5-2 right now, maybe 6-2. 20 seconds left. You know, I thought it'd be a clean sweep for John Wick. I like Jones better, but all right. So it looks like our finals are between the T-800. Now, before anyone votes, don't vote yet. They're between the T-800 and John Wick. So we're going to do two different final rounds. The first final round is going to be what we have been doing, who's the cooler action movie hero. But we're going to do a different final round after that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but so with that, who is the cooler action movie hero, or the coolest, I guess, Terminator or John Wick? Go. You know what's interesting? I wonder if Neo would have beat John Wick. That would have been interesting. Oh, I'm disappointed in Predminator. He voted for John Wick. So looks like John Wick's probably going to take it. However, I don't know if he's going to take the next one. The next one would be really interesting. All right, so we're going to say John Wick is the best action movie hero of everybody. It does seem rigged. So here's a new poll. Oh, that was the last round. Okay. All right. Well, John Wick still won, I believe. Gotcha. I don't see your Terminator vote, Predator. It doesn't matter. You still won anyway. All right. So new round, John Wick, Terminator. Who would win in a fight? That's what I want to know. Who would win in a fight? Now, part of me has a bias I'll tell you about after you guys vote, but you guys go ahead and vote first. Who would win in a fight, John Wick or Terminator? T2 is taking the early lead, 30 seconds in. Oh, there goes my son with his cold start on his Mustang heading to work. All right, so clean sweep so far, I believe, for Terminator. Now, this is going to blow your mind. I initially thought the same thing. I was like, okay, Terminator will win in a fight. Terminator was beat by a waitress and a man in hobo pants. I'm just saying. Am I wrong? Terminator was beat by a waitress, same model, right? Same model, and a man in hobo pants. So why wouldn't John Wick, who's pretty well, maybe John Wick would get a hydraulic press? I mean, you can't tell me that I mean, in Terminator 2, obviously he didn't, he died by choice, but I'm just saying, I think John Wick could find a way. I mean, what is John Wick's body count? I'm going to Google that right now. John Wick's total body count. Oh, it's popular search term. 439 people, and most of those were trained assassins. That's a good point, though, John Crosby. Would John Wick know he was the Terminator? Because that adds a different element to it. If you didn't know he was the Terminator, like he might shoot him and then turn his back because he figured he would die. All right. Ripley would be, yeah, they should have had Ripley in here. If Wick, sorry, I'm gonna share some of these comments. All right, let me stop sharing this. So as a conclusion, if you just started, we have John Wick is apparently the coolest live action star based off those rankings. And then he barely beat Terminator, but Terminator would beat him in a fight. So actually, there's a lot of comments on this. So let's see here. Terminator would probably win. And then this is where we kind of brought up that Terminator was beat by a waitress and a hobo. And yeah, John Wick has a pool of liquid. You should put hot in there. Liquid hot magma. He was beat by a hydraulic press. Yes. Internet gave out using phone. Yeah, my neighbor, he texted me this morning. He's like, "Is your internet working?" And I look out the window and there's a Xfinity truck. So I was like, "Yep." Yeah, they knew he was coming. So I think that's a vital point. If John Wick didn't know he was a cybernetic organism, he might just shoot him once and then, because John Wick goes really fast. He's shooting here and there and running. So he'd think he was down when really he wasn't. They were in a room alone. If they're free to use whatever, Wick is invincible. I don't know. I think Wick would need close quarters would not be good, in my opinion. Wick would find a way. Did the Terminator kill Wick's dog, though? That's the question. If Wick knew like Reese did, then I would pick Wick. Okay, all right. And like I said, Ripley would beat them all. Yeah, it's Ripley's awesome. When we were on that camping trip that you'll see the video of, we didn't have internet, and it was funny as me and my youngest son on camping trips, we've been watching the whole Predator. We watched Predator, the new one, the cartoon one, and I knew we wouldn't have internet up there, so I downloaded some movies to my iPad, and one of them was Alien. And I don't think he's seen Aliens, but he didn't see Alien, so it was good to watch, the chest burst scene with my young son. Bourne should have won overall. Yeah, I think there's not. I think James Bond is iconic. The dude he's more invincible than John Wick if you look at all the different iterations of James Bond and all the missions he's been on. And I mean, I know they just keep making it. I think this picture was on Instagram where I saw it and I was just like, hey, that would be a good topic for the next live. Because I don't want to sit here and talk to you guys for an hour or so. I want you guys to interact. And to me, that's a lot more fun. Oh, that's a good point. It's like Shane, right? Yeah. At the end of the movie, Shane. Let me see if they say they were confirmed. So apparently he had 77 in the first film, confirmed, not confirmed, but kills. 128 in the second, only 94 in the third, loser, and then 140 in the fourth. You know what's harder than trying to count how many people John Wick has killed? How many cop cars the Blues Brothers crashed in the original movie? I challenge you to go watch and get an answer. There just really isn't one. What's James Bond's body count? And I don't mean the ladies. It's a good point. Yeah, he does have a license to kill, though, so that's totally allowed. Good. Yeah, I want to do something like that. So next month, I'm going to switch this up quite a bit. So one of the things that hasn't been working on these live chats, this was episode number 3, is I'm doing them in the mornings on weekends. People don't like that, which I totally get because I kind of don't like it. I'm like in a rush to get out and get my day done. So I'm going to switch it to an evening. I don't know if it'll be a weekend or not. We'll play that by ear. There's a bunch of stuff going on in my life that's good, all good stuff, but might change my schedule a little bit. And then have somebody else on as well, not just Mrs. X, but some other YouTubers. I don't want too many. I no disrespect to anyone that does that, but when there's like 9 people, it's hard to hear everyone's opinion. So maybe just one other person, I think, where there'd be some good back and forth, but that's kind of my goal with that. So, but yeah, but what's up, Ledge? So it's July, got all those fun trips coming up. I am going to Statue Con August 8th. So that'll be fun up there in Michigan. Me and Mrs. X are going again. And we'll do some shorts and stuff. And I know we're not going to do exclusive content on it, but we'll capture the trip because we're doing some other stuff. But I will definitely do another live next month. But like I said, we'll switch it to an evening. We'll add another person on there. We'll definitely keep this live voting. I think this was fun, some kind of iteration of it. But I got a shitload of stuff to do today, and I can't thank you enough for anyone that is joining live and then that people that are catching after the fact. I still love you guys. The good news is I have 2 statues. Well, I have more than 2 in transit, but I have 2 that are arriving within the next 5 days. But unfortunately, I probably won't be able to film them because I'm going to be gone. So PCS Robocop and PCS Raphael are arriving. So that's kind of nice to have statues arriving again. But again, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate everybody, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. And if you don't, then drink. Take care.